Call you in later.
Two minutes.
How you doing? It's fun. JC is such a kid. She's so funny. You have your hands full.
Yeah, man. Yeah. They'll take care.
Locked in there.
They're 2 years apart. Yeah. Just not getting paid. There's one, it's not the big store.
Okay, the clock has struck 4. I'm going to begin today's Architecture Review Committee meeting Wednesday, February 7th, 2024. In attendance, committee members, we have Patrick Tregenza, Justin Pauly, Ed Hunter, Payam Ostavar, Eric Palmer, Shelley Schmidt, Kimberly Turgan. And sorry, Spencer, if you can announce staff members present, thank you.
Staff members present today are Principal Planner Roveri, Associate Planner Buggert, and Recording Secretary Argenbright. Information on participating in this meeting and providing public comment, including remotely by Zoom or telephone, is on this meeting's agenda, which is online at isearchmonterey.org. Remote commenters will be muted until it is their turn to speak, and a timer will be shown on the screen. If you are connected on Zoom, the timer is accurate with no delay. In the chamber, we recommend keeping phones and devices muted to prevent audio interference with the meeting. Thank you for participating in your city government.
Thank you, Spencer. So we're going to open the consent agenda. The only item on the consent agenda is the minutes from the last meeting. Is there any public, anybody from the public, either present or online, that would like to comment on anything on the consent agenda?
I see no members online with their hands raised.
Thank you, Spencer. So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Can I make just a
Oh,
clarification?
absolutely.
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't recall advocating for developers covering undergrounding. I remember just sort of asking for clarification.
Okay.
I'm not really in a position to advocate
Got it.
for something like that, but
Okay.
was just trying to understand the situation that the city's dealing with in that moment.
Thank you for that, Payam. So we make note of that and we can amend the minutes. Anything else? Any other comments on the minutes? So I'll go ahead and make a motion to, or move to approve the consent agenda. Here, a second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? And there's probably some
Abstain.
abstentions. You got it all figured out? Spencer's a
Abstain.
Justin, Ed, we're not here. Then we're gonna open the floor up to public comments for any items that are not on the agenda today. Nobody in the audience, and Spencer online, anybody?
I see no attendees with their hands raised.
Thank you. So we're gonna open the first item and only item. Consider 261 Mar Vista Drive, ARP 230226, and it looks like Matthew, you've got a report for us?
Yes, I
Thank
will share my screen. Good afternoon. My name is Matthew Buggert, and I'm an associate planner with the City of Monterey's Planning Division. Today, we're here to talk about 261 Mar Vista Drive for an architectural review permit for a accessory dwelling unit at today's ARC meeting. The recommendation from city staff is that the ARC adopt the resolution approving the architectural review permit and conditions of approval for an accessory dwelling unit or ADU. The reason that this is in front of you today is that ADUs with alternative roof pitches or forms need to be approved through the ARC. The zoning ordinance requires ADU roofs that typically match the primary dwelling on site. And as long as the ARC finds that the slope and form is compatible with the primary structure and neighborhood, ARC can approve it. Some background on the project. This is a retroactive permit. There was a non-permitted addition constructed at the property prior to 2005. The very fuzzy aerial image here is from around that time. And we don't know exactly when it was constructed as it's on the back side of the dwelling. So the owner is searching to legalize the addition, including a conversion to an ADU. There were two different ways that we could have gone about this. One of them is to legalize the addition, and since it starts and connects to the second story, it would need to go through ARC anyways. But since they're doing an ADU conversion as well with the addition, we wanted to lump it all underneath the process for the ADU, and it turns out it does not have a roof pitch matching the rest of the structure. This is an aerial as it stands today. And the subject property is in the southwest corner of the city. And our GIS map shows two parcels, but they have since had a lot merger, and our GIS system just hasn't been updated to reflect that. And the addition is at the rear of the unit. It is underneath 800 square feet and connects into some existing rooms as well. For some exterior elevations, it is at the rear of the structure. Over here, this is where the addition was placed. The original structure did not have anything going beyond basically what's bubbled here. And they constructed the staircase here as well. This is from the front of the house. It's on the rear of the structure, and this is very hard to see from the front. And from the northern elevation, this addition here in the back is constructed on actually the architect may be able to better describe what it's built on. But the addition itself is just on the second story. This is as the structure was in around 2019, 2020. The property owner, the current property owner purchased this house in around 2019, and the addition is back behind this tree on the left. And as you can see, the structure has a variety of roof pitches. It was included on the previous slides, but they have roof pitches including a 5 to 12 roof, a 4 to 12 roof, and a 3 to 12 roof. And the addition itself has a 1 to 12 roof. So it's quite the patchwork house. And this is as it stands today. It's been repainted and re-roofed, and that addition is hidden back here behind the tree. From the road, it is entirely covered with trees and landscaping. That is a driveway that goes only to this property. There are no other homes that can see the site or really see the addition. Findings required for approval are that the ARC finds that the addition meets the siting form, mass, and architectural style, that they are appropriate for the site. All development standards are appropriate. The only reason that the ADU is before you today is due to that roof pitch. If it had a matching roof pitch, it would have gone directly to building. And as mentioned, the ADU has a roof pitch of 1 to 12 and is more of a shed roof. The primary structure has a variety of different roof forms and roof pitches. So the staff feels that the additional pitch and form would kind of fit into the patchwork nature of the residence. Views, privacy, and living environment must not be impaired. There were no comments received. Views, privacy, and living environment are not potentially affected. It's an existing structure and has been for about 20 years or more. The project must be found consistent with city plans and design guidelines. And the exterior finish, colors, materials, and all other exterior features are appropriate. The existing siding generally matches the existing dwelling, especially by paint color, and the roofing material matches that on top of the structure. Conditions of approval are the standard conditions of approval. There are no unique ones. And with that, staff's recommendation is to adopt a resolution approving the architectural review permit and conditions of approval. That concludes staff's presentation. The applicant is also in the room with us today.
Thank you, Matthew. Are there any committee questions for staff?
I have one. It's more of a comment on the slide where it says it meets new Monterey guidelines. Isn't that area of the city actually Monterey Vista?
I have to say that it is Monterey Vista, which is not one of our design review neighborhoods, and that is an error in my PowerPoint.
But so it is Monterey Vista.
It is in Monterey Vista. Yes.
I have a question as well. I'm in support of approving this, but I was just wondering about the process of legalizing ADU additions to homes, like when they're in what instances do we approve illegal ADUs that I'm sure people are just building without us knowing?
Yeah, and that's been a very common thing over the past few years, is the number of small things that people have done to their homes. The process of legalizing the unit goes through the building department. And so I believe that there is a building permit on file for this addition, and they need to have the fire separation, make sure the water credits are there. It needs to be up to current building code, and if not, do some structural improvements to ensure that it is, but it's mostly handled through the building department. Of which they will also need to receive that permit.
And you said if it had the same roof pitch, it would have gone straight to the building office and not to ARC.
That is correct.
Can I, just to clarify, so all of this is built essentially, or?
Since at least 2005.
So where we're looking at the proposed upper floor plan with attached ADU, there's a wall legend that says proposed 2x exterior wall. That's actually an existing 2x exterior wall. Okay,
That can be
so
confirmed with the
all those walls that are pochade and dark, they're not actually proposed, they're existing.
There's the stuff that was on the books and the legalization of the unit. We needed the proposed what would be there so that that can be approved and then ensure it's there with the building inspection.
Any other committee questions? Would the applicant like to make a statement?
Good evening. Honorable Chair, Commissioners, my name is Buck Blackwell.
I was contracted by the homeowner, Mr. John Darantino, to rectify these code enforcement issues. He bought the property roughly around 2019, full well knowing all the issues that the property had and full well ready to take on the responsibility for that. So we started the building process about 2 years ago. And this came apart as our final plan check. We're almost approved. We just needed to conform to this roof pitch. So as Matthew said, it's, the AD roof is hidden. There's lots of multiple forms and pitches on the house, so it's kind of a patchwork house already. It is existing in the plans we showed as proposed because that's how a retroactive permit is addressed. We pretend that it's being built today. We have engineering, water credits, energy calculations, everything to fully support the structure. And we come before you today basically to not put any more undue cost on the homeowner to have to redo that roof. It's just going to add more financial costs for him. And he's got infrastructure, water, sewage. He's got a lot of things that he has to do to make this thing legal and habitable. And he's done all he can at this point with paint and repairs. So that's why we come before you today. I can answer any questions you have about the plans. I drew the plans myself. And we hope you make a motion for approval, and thanks for your consideration.
Thank you. You could stay there for a second.
sure.
Yeah. Any questions for the applicant?
I just have another procedural question. Sorry, just because I'm learning and I'm new here. I'm sorry if they're stupid questions. Just whose responsibility is it to go through the process of legalizing an ADU and rectify that code? Would it be like the person who's selling the home or person who's buying the home?
Would you like me to answer that or?
Staff, I think actually, yeah. Unless you know the answer to that.
Yeah, I
Okay.
handle hundreds of these over the last, almost 10 years now. It's the homeowner's responsibility to bring all the consultants in to provide plans that can be approved through the city. And then it's their responsibility to make those changes and repairs, whatever they need to do. And then they will have multiple inspections from the city to make sure they did that and that it's all perfect and legal.
So I would assume that the current owner bought this property as is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he bought it with most of this stuff happened in the late 80s, as far as we could tell through assessor's building records. So it's been like this for a while.
Has it always been a separate living quarters, an ADU or?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, they had people living in there illegally.
okay.
Mhm.
And there's a staircase that leads up to it
Correct.
from the back.
Yeah, it has a separate entrance. It'll have separate water, heating, everything.
Okay, their own utilities and,
Correct.
okay,
Yeah, that is a requirement.
right.
Okay, so just to confirm, during the real estate process, a seller could say you could buy it as is, even if they have
Yeah.
illegal units.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what I've been curious about that for a long time, actually.
It's a buyer beware.
it is
Yeah.
it's a very risky endeavor.
There's no situation in which a city, while a homeowner is trying to sell their home, would do an inspection and see that there's an illegal unit and
They do inspections now prior to the sale, which is really great for the buyers. Sometimes sellers, not so much.
okay, so then they could get
They could.
cited or
Mhm.
be told that before they could sell the home that they're responsible for.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And that this didn't happen in this case.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they sold it with the agreement that the new owner would rectify the issues.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Open it up for, is there? Yeah. Public comment on this particular item? I don't know if I asked that or not earlier. Online, anybody, Spencer?
There is
Anybody
no
else that wants to
attendees
speak?
online with their hands raised.
Let's open it up for committee comments. I'd like to just say that it looks for the before and after pictures, it looks like you guys have done a lot of work in 2 years. So it definitely looks a lot nicer. And the fact that you can't see the unit is probably why it went undetected for so long. So
Just a question and a comment on this, this is Monterey Vista neighborhood, and it is my understanding, it is a non-ARC reviewable neighborhood except for certain conditions being met as far as height, lot coverage, If those things are met, there is no architectural review imposed or expected within the Monterey Vista neighborhood. Is that correct?
In general, yes. However, any second story addition that's made in a non-design review neighborhood would come to ARC.
Right, but if someone wanted to do something one story, ridge line never exceeded 14 or 16 feet above footing, all that, there is no design review. So in
That's
this
correct.
case, we're basically looking at this as an approval of the roof pitch associated with the ADU and not a design review for Monterey Vista neighborhood.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that
That-
what
that's
we're
correct.
doing? Okay.
Well, I
Just to
didn't,
work clear.
I didn't know that. I live in the Monterey Vista neighborhood. I'm a homeowner. Why is that? Or I could ask
Yeah,
you
why don't we ask
afterwards.
that after. and
Yeah, I'll ask
Continue with the review.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I can send you a staff report
Yeah.
later on.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
We don't need to make anyone wait for that.
Any other, it looks like Justin, you have a comment?
No, I was just gonna say, given that it's built and.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just make a motion to.
The.
Yeah.
We
We're
could
gonna
make
make them
put
take it
story- we
down,
could make
or-
them put story poles up, but.
Well, I move to approve the architectural review permit for an ADU at 261 Mar Vista Drive.
I'll second that. Any comment before we vote? All right, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? All right. The motion passes unanimously, and thank you guys and congratulations and keep up the good work. All right, planning office update. And well, let's all welcome Fernanda back to the trenches. Yay. See ya.
Thank you. I don't have anything else besides what's in the agenda report. I guess if you're curious, 2000 and 2600 Garden Road, the ARC has already seen projects from the applicant for these properties, but the owner decided to redesign completely. So you'll be seeing completely new designs and the applicant will be looking for design feedback from you all. So it won't be an approval at all or a denial. It will just be feedback from you.
Is that Slamma? Is that the
Yes.
last name? Okay. And didn't he, we already,
We already did that.
he already did a redesign and now he's doing a third design? Or
I'm only aware of one
Okay.
design and
Okay.
this would be the second.
wasn't there like a port share thing that was part of it and we didn't
Yeah,
like,
but
and
there
that
was-
went away and then, yeah, I forget. Well, I look forward to seeing.
Is this for
latest.
housing or? housing
Yeah, they
development?
would be apartment buildings.
Okay.
Yeah.
The revisions bring down the amount of units or increase units or anything?
I don't, Matthew was reviewing one of them, so
It will be a reduction
Okay.
on one of the properties. I'm not sure about the 2000.
Matt, are we aware if that building is usable, the structure? Because is this one of the ones that's using the existing office buildings or is this one raising the whole thing and then rebuilding? Is this on Garden Road, right?
they're
Yes.
both demolished completely.
Okay, so it was one of the ones that we saw and then got demolished?
Right, originally 2000 Garden Road was gonna be reused or repurposed.
That was where the
but-
gym was, right?
No,
and
the gym
now
got
it's
torn down.
demolished.
Yeah.
And I know we have been finding that out, that some of those buildings are not usable after we've reviewed and approved it. We're finding out the buildings are in such a state of deterioration that they're not usable, correct?
That might be true for 2000 Garden Road. 2600 Garden Road was always going to be demolished, or that was the owner's
Okay,
desire.
okay.
Okay, any other questions or any other planning office updates? I have one question. It's just, I remember there was recently a year or two ago, this thing with ADUs that like, they're gonna get fast tracked. They're not gonna have any ARC approved. They just, boom, boom, boom. And then, yeah, and seems like we're doing a lot of ADUs still. So I mean, I'm glad that we have some say over what happens, but I thought that all went away when that new.
It's because of the roof slope. It
It-
didn't match the house. It seems like
Okay,
a silly
well,
rule. It's
yeah, it
like
seems
really
like a silly rule.
counterproductive,
Yeah.
but the state has mandated planning offices to do to bring these in.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that we still have say over the roof pitch. Because it's like, we need these, we need these, we need these, and we should just say yes and rubber stamp them and stuff. Anyway, I'm just wondering why that is, but I guess.
It's, it was a decision, I mean, I guess originally the city council wanted ADUs to blend in with the neighborhood, and residents were concerned that they would be, ADUs would look like out of place. And so city council required them to match the siding, the roof pitch, the roof materials, so that they look like part of the single family dwelling.
So that came from planning.
It came from the city council
council,
and
okay.
planning commission,
Okay.
yeah.
This may be a question for Levi, but did the state have to approve like the city council's decision to
The state reviews the ADU ordinance,
that
So-
that you guys adopted?
yeah.
Okay, and they
Mhm.
approved that. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Great. Any other comments? Questions? Celebrations? The meeting is adjourned.
I
Thank
got a
you.
Basketball game. I'll get you.